Salve, Teomes, I am Ruminous, and today we are doing a run of Mega Man 04 with an S rank and 100% item completion. I'll be doing a commentary and just kind of commenting on the things throughout the game. So I played on normal mode. You can really do this on any single one except for Ultimate, because Ultimate already has the random things in there. The Reploids. They were robots designed to look like humans. These tactical marvels were given a unique personalities and were indeed intended to be the perfect workers and the perfect partners for mankind. But the wheels of peace between Reploids and humans were beginning to grind to a halt. The Reploids were well designed, perhaps too well. The humanity began to sow the seeds of rebellion. The rebels were labeled mavericks and feared by their human master. Why is human capitalist? The humans decided to pit Reploid against Reploid. That was the fate given to them. The Reploids, fighting for humanity, were never given a choice. Thus the war of machines began, and the humans just watched. War begot war. And time passed, even with the construction of the utopian human city, Neo Arcadia. The war dragged on. The Mavericks defeated the leader of Neo Arcadia, and now Neo Arcadia is under control of the criminal Dr. Wheel. Dr. Vile? I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a German pronunciation. The former utopia is now only a shadow of its former glory. Many have started to flee the city. We are one of those groups fleeing from the clutches of Dr. Vile and our caravan. Yeah, I'm going to use Dr. Vile, because I assume they're supposed to be using a German pronunciation, because Mega Man names are really not obscure. They're very on the nose, very clear. It'd be like Evil Man. So it's probably German for Vile, that's how you pronounce it, but it could be Weil. I've always pronounced it as Wheel until I went through this game and I was like, oh wait, it's probably German. So I will be doing voiceovers for the text. I might or may not do voices, depending on how I feel, really. I should have grabbed a faster car. Neige, they're catching up. I know, but this is as fast as it goes. Shoot. Dr. Wheel is trying to bring us back. Zero, can you hear me? The enemy is heading for the caravan. My voice cracks. Help them. Understood. Commencing mission. Seal, I need some help with the trailer. You're a robot, dude. Just, like, I've made bigger jumps than that before. Alright, so when you go through these, I have a list of all the different types of materials that you'll need. I'll have them pop on screen, just so you have them, if you want to follow this as a guide. I had tried this multiple times to basically do every level only once. You can't do that. Because of the RNG, which I was not able to figure out or manipulate properly. Some levels you will have to do twice just because you also have to go for an S rank run, which means you have to beat it within a certain time, and you can't do both. So some of these things, like here you collect 4 of these V-Fires, so you have to actually collect 4 of them, which sometimes takes forever despite how many there are. So, you will often see me just repeat levels just because it's way faster. Speaking of which, I did this level for about 45 minutes, and I started to get a little antsy, just kind of frustrated and reckless, which is why you see me kind of rushing and taking a lot of hits here. Just because I wanted to be done. I was tired of watching that opening cutscene every time. Alright. So, yeah, a lot of these enemies, even though I did end up getting a run where I was able to get all of them in one run. A lot of these enemies, actually all of them actually, will indeed show up in other levels, so you don't have to do that here. I was just trying to make it efficient, that way I didn't have to repeat levels or kind of keep track of the parts I've already gotten. It just made it easier for me, which is why you see me repeating to kill the same enemy over and over until I get the part that I need. That was an unnecessary flex by me to just throw that up at his weapon. I could have just let his bullet fly on by. Zero. I'm detecting heat signatures. Zero, something's coming. Bring the trailer closer. I'll take care of it. Gotcha. All in all, I do think that this game is wildly unnecessary. The story kind of ended perfectly with Zero 3. I don't know why they made a fourth one. I feel like they needed to tie up the loose end with Dr. Wheel or Dr. Vile, and they should have just not. They should have just had it end in Zero 3. Because most of this is just kind of filler. The story is pretty bland and basic, and also kind of worthless. You don't really do anything spectacular, and most of Zero's character in this one is, send me on a mission, I'll take care of it. Compared to the other games where he actually had some sort of, like, character to him, and that's why people like these games a lot better. It's because they actually had character to them, and the games were actually, you know, the story was decent compared to just kind of pathetic. I never liked the story for the Mega Man games, except for Legends and Battle Network, which are actually well done. So this boss is pretty simple. You just dodge a few of his attacks. He'll send in some beam walkers. Literally all you have to do is do a charge slash or just duck underneath him. He'll continue walking forward. Here, you can just dash under the thing. If you want to be fancy, you can, as they're crossing, you can jump over it, but that's an unnecessary risk. So get to S rank runs, you have to beat it fast, kill a bunch of enemies, not take damage. And that's pretty much it. There are things for the mission and whatnot, but it's really useless. The mission is always just beat the level. It looks like everybody's okay. I'm surprised to see someone crazy enough to drive out here in the middle of nowhere. Do you always give lectures to the people you save? Well, thanks anyway. Niche, we don't have time for this, let's go. You're right, but there's time to say thank you. I don't want the Reploids thinking that we're ungrateful. Prepare to leave, we'll be there soon. Alright, no good can come of dealing with Reploids. And here comes one of the stupidest lines in this game. You're human? Yes, we are. Are humans outside of Neo Arcadia that rare? I feel like Zero would automatically know who's a Reploid and who's human. Zero! I'm trying to do unique voices, but my voice is quite deep, so doing a high pitch doesn't work. Zero, I'm glad you're okay. It looks like the vehicle is okay too. Thanks to you both. You saved us, Dr. Seal. Huh? How did you know? Who are you? The name's Nige. I'm human just like you. I used to be a journalist who traveled the world. That's why I heard rumors about you and the Resistance. That you led the Reploids against Neo Arcadia and are supposed to be very dangerous. Dangerous? We're not... I've heard a lot about you too. I knew you were the Resistance when I heard the Seal call your name just now. So you're the legendary Reploid, Zero. We don't want any strange rumors being spread about us. I don't want chicanery there. There won't be, I'm just telling you what I've heard. But others might think differently than me. I'll just be seeing you. I'll be seeing you. It's time for us to get going. Going? Where are you going anyway? If you're a human, then why don't you just stay in Neo Arcadia? You put all this together just to escape from there? Just stay there? Because we're human? You must be joking! Wait, you don't know, do you? That place has changed. Didn't you see us getting attacked just now? It's terrible. It doesn't matter anymore, human or Reploid, it's all the same. Anyone that opposes Wheel is treated like a maverick. The evil Dr. Vile, who was driven away from Neo Arcadia, he controls all of the energy and the production there and everywhere. Was soon because some hero killed the leader of Neo Arcadia, the great sanctuary for us humans is no more. But then that means that what we did was... The humans are afraid of being removed if they oppose Vile, so he rules unchecked. As long as they stay quiet, they stay safe. But who knows how long before Vile decides to get rid of them too. That's why we fled from that place. We're heading for the settlements in Area Zero. Area Zero. There's a human settlement there? Then we'll go with you. Who knows when Vile will strike next? Well, Seal is human, but Reploids aren't welcome. Especially heroes, like you. What's that supposed to mean? The settlement is full of people who were caught up in the Reploid war, so don't take too kindly to Reploids. Humans aren't as strong or friendly as you might think. I won't tell the caravanners that you are the Zero that defeated the leader of Neo Arcadia, Don't get us involved in anything. Talk to you later. Rude. You would think they'd be more friendly to someone who could just rip apart things. Humans, huh? Zero, we should get back to the trailer. Right. You would think they'd be friendly, more friendly to a robot that just slaughtered half an army. Single-handedly. Something about the caravan bothering you? Yeah. I was shocked to hear that all of the humans at the settlement hated the Reploids. It's just we fought so hard for the Reploids that I don't know how other humans felt about it. Didn't they say the settlement was in a place called Area Zero? That's where we should be heading to. They're struggling to maintain their independence from Vile, and we have to help them. Do what you feel is right. Thanks, Zero. I just need a little more time. Now might be a good time to drop by Caraval's... I don't know how to spell his name. Pronounce his name. For maintenance. After that, come and see me in the commander's room. Oh, before that, I'll save. So a lot of these names are French, so I should... Again, Vile might not be German, might be French. Seal, I might be pronouncing that wrong. I'm not sure. I don't know how to pronounce French names, so that's on me. I'll be here in the commander's room if you ever want to store your data. Yeah, so just down, you can save the game. So if I get some of these French names wrong, that's my bad. I don't know French pronunciation. Hey Zero, you hanging in there? Have any little work? No, I'm fine. Alright, but don't overdo it. Did you try your Zero Knuckle yet? Alright, so it's just explaining anytime there's an explanation or just kind of a unnecessary thing about the game, the gameplay, I'm just gonna skip through it. I think humans there need our help. Looks like you got your work cut out for you. If there's anything I can do to help, don't be afraid to ask. Oh, I almost forgot something important. Enemies sometimes drop parts. Yeah, so I'll skip through this. Yeah, so anytime there's something like that, I'll skip through it just because it's not really necessary. As far as... I'm not going to narrate it, there's no real reason for that. Did you find anything out about Area Zero? Yes, it's not far from here. Nij and the others should arrive there soon. Area Zero is the site in the Maverick Wars where the space colony Eurasia crashed from Mega Man X5. Many lives were lost there. Area Zero is a painful reminder of a war long past. Humans are living there now. Data about Area Zero has been sent from the Resistance base. Since the crash of the space colony, the section has been sealed off. But apparently the land has been renewed in that time and nature is becoming more and more abundant. Nature is coming back to Area Zero. It's said to be due to an environmental system still left active after the crash. It's not much, but it still means hope for humanity. Have you managed to find the human settlement? There was not enough data to pinpoint an exact location. We need to conduct a closer investigation of Area Zero. I need all these women to stop talking. Zero, can you head out there and check it out? We'll be following in the trailer. Go into Area Zero? Yeah. I need these women to stop talking because it's hurting my voice. My voice is not designed for that kind of high-pitched. How could this be? How could what be? I'm detecting multiple Reploid signals. I think they're New Arcadian. No, they're Vile's Reploids. What are they doing in Area Zero? Operator, get me over there, hurry. Alright, ready for transfer. I kinda said Zero's line a little fast. Zero, be careful. So, this is Area Zero. Seal, are you seeing this on the monitor? Yes, I'm seeing it now. That's amazing. I didn't know such a natural place still existed. Seal, what's my mission? Oh, sorry. The enemy's in the colony remains. The entrance should be up ahead. Understood. I'm in pursuit. What could Dr. Vile be up to? So once again, this is a level where I had to do it. I think I had to do it in 2 parts. Yeah, I had to do it in 2 parts. I spent about an hour and a half on this level alone, just trying to again get it all in one run. Where I got the S rank, I got all the parts, but it just took too long. It was inconsistent. Again, if you were able to manipulate the RNG, you might be able to get this consistently in one run. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out the RNG, and I was too frustrated at this point after an hour and a half. So you'll see me kill a few enemies, get a few parts, and then you'll see me later on kind of fade in at a different part of the video, just so I can get the parts again. I do all of the recipes at once. So I won't, you'll see all the recipes come up later in the video, so I don't do them sporadically. I also go through this as a level 1. I don't do any upgrades, I don't do the ALF, I don't do any parts or anything. So I use sub-tanks as that's the only thing that I use in the game. And even then, I think I'll use the sub-tanks twice throughout my playthrough. So once again, you'll see me kind of run back and forth, but you'll see me spend a little bit of time, but once I just kind of give up after a while if I can't get it. Alright, so about 04, why it's particularly not my favorite. Not only the story is just kind of bland and unnecessary in itself, but there's also what I would consider a lot of poor design. There's a lot of what I would call troll design, and that's where a game is designed so that it's particularly just obnoxious. There's a bunch of things that, see, that was well designed. It's in the middle of the ledge there, so you're not immediately getting knocked into the spikes. There are plenty of times in this game in particular that's not really available in 0, 1 to 3, where there'll be an enemy right on the ledge, and you either have to take a hit, which ruins your S rank, or you kind of have to finagle it so that you jump over them, and it's really impossible to do without parts. So if you're level 1, like I am, there's plenty of parts where you either get knocked into the spikes or knock off the ledge into your death, because there's just an enemy there, and they can aim at you from off screen. It's just obnoxious, and it happens way too frequently in this game. So this is I think this is a repeat from I want to say, what are the Turbo games? Or is it Extreme? I think it's called Extreme. Anyway, this is not an uncommon boss for Mega Man, but basically it's pretty simple. He'll do a series of attacks. He's pretty slow. You'll see me do a charge slash and then 3 regular slashes. That's because he's invulnerable to the charge slash right after you hit him with one, so if you do 3 slashes, you can get a good bit of damage after that. Well, like I said, it's pretty simple. He's pretty slow. Nothing really to do there. Oh, this next part of the story, I'm gonna give pretty much the same voice to all the bosses, because I am not skilled enough to give them 8 different voices. Yeah, why sweat the small stuff? I'm all for crushing Area Zero, but this is taking forever. I'm gonna give them an annoying voice because they're annoying. I guess I don't have much choice but to follow Wheel's plan. Or you could just not. You ever think about that? It looks like I missed a grunt. Ah! Who dares call me a grunt? Who are you, and where did you come from? I'll teach you to come in here and insult me. You're a noisy one. Certainly are. Now I'm mad. Well, sucks. Come on, I'll show you. Don't steal all the fun, Coconut Cup. I don't know what your name was. Also, how does Zero not see this giant army behind him? Yes, I would be the one to light his fire. Quiet, he's going to be my dinner. You're the one that needs to be quiet. You weren't back on time, so we had to come find you. By the way, who is that Reploid standing over there? That is his name is Zero, and there is data on him in Lord Vile's master plan. Mino Magnus, please try to speed it up next time. Jesus Christ. Zero? So this Reploid is our target. Then we should take care of him here and now. Again, how did Zero not see all these people? Ugh. Time's running out. This is Kraft, that's right. We're only here to investigate Area Zero. You don't have clearance to fight. Oh, come on, Commander Kraft. You aren't saying we should just leave the enemy, are you? We need the power of Ragnarok to destroy this much nature. Once Ragnarok has begun, one Reploid will be beneath our concern. There's no time to deal with him now. Destroy the nature in Area Zero? Just what are you trying to do? My name is Kraft. I am a soldier of Neo Arcadia. No, Lord Vile. Lord Vile requires all nature to be destroyed. Lately there are a lot of impudent humans thinking the world outside of Neo Arcadia is better. That's why we must make sure it isn't by burning it. Then, nobody will have delusions of escaping Lord Vile. Who would choose Lord Nature over Lord Vile anyway? I can't believe it. Humans are so foolish. Commander Kraft is the leader of the Einherjar, the 8 warriors. The 8 of us will destroy the environment. Sorry if I mispronounced that. That's Scandinavia. Then, as part of Lord Vile's plan, we will destroy Area Zero. Zero. I missed your voice. You see, Zero, there's nothing you can do. You're no threat to Lord Vile. you'll come to understand. This world belongs to Lord Vile. One person can't change the world. Heroes are a thing of the past. Time to go. Ragnarok has begun. Sorry, I mispronounced that. It may be Scandinavian. It's Nordic. It's somewhere like Finland. It's all those, like Finland, Scandinavia, that kind of area. Zero, are you okay? Seal, is that you? Oh, is that you? Did you get all of that? Yes. I can't believe Dr. Vile would do that. We've arrived in Area 02. We found the settlements. Return to the trailer, please. Understood. Operator, bring me back. Commencing transportation. Transport, whatever. Welcome back. Welcome back, Zero. It seems the Reploids weren't aware of the settlement's presence. I know Nij warned us not to go to the settlement, but we need to tell them about Ragnarok. With Vile's army so close, we can't afford to risk alerting them to the settlement's presence by transferring you there. You'll have to go on foot. Just exit the trailer and keep going right. It shouldn't take you too long to reach it. Oh, and Zero. We just received data on an all-new cyber elf from the Resistance base. New cyber elf? They've been conducting research on cyber elves. We've got one of the new ones in the room next door with Alouette. Pick it up from her. She also has the instruction manual, so ask her more about it. I will. When you're ready, head out to the settlement. I'll catch up to you later in the trailer. Oh, Zero, check this out. Yeah, so this is all just... the Cyber Elf, in the old games, you had a bunch of different Cyber Elves that you would get. So the parts... the parts resembled what you would get with the Cyber Elves, is that you kill a bunch of enemies and then you would get a Cyber Elf and it would have unique features. Whereas this one is just one Cyber Elf. Hey, you, stop! You are a Reploid. This isn't the place for you. Get out of here. Wait! We have to tell you something. Oh my gosh. We told you to get out. Vile is going to destroy this place. If you leave now, there's still time. Another Reploid war? First the Maverick Wars, then the Elf Wars, now Vile. How long does this world have to suffer while you carry out your petty wars? Huh? Just leave us alone. This settlement was built by humans, for humans, and we'll protect it by ourselves. By humans. But it's dangerous for you to fight Vile alone. So you'd like humans and Reploids to join forces? Don't be a fool. It's you Reploids and your wars that got us into this mess. And who made the Reploids? We have no reason to trust you. But we were just trying to protect you. Save your breath. Nij said we wouldn't be welcome. But we told them what we know. It's up to them to decide what to do with it. Isn't that right, Nij? That's right. I'm going back to the trailer. The enemy will be making their final move soon. The enemy will be making their final move soon. I kind of trailed that off. I thought there would be more to that. This intro is taking so long. Zero, worrying won't stop Vile's army. You can only do your best and hope that's enough. Alright then, let's do what we can to protect the nature around Area 0. I hope the people in the settlement will come to realize we're not trying to hurt them. I'm sure they will. I found signals. There's 8 people. We gotta kill them. Oh, what a surprise. That Mega Man game has to have 8 people we gotta kill. Alright. So, again, part of the reason I couldn't go through this because it was constant story. I don't like the story in this game is that it's very bland. It's very much, we're evil. And that's what we're doing. Like, I'm fine with the big bad enemy, Vile, being pure evil. I actually think he's written pretty well. In terms of that he's just pure evil and he only wants vengeance. I just don't like that all the Reploids and all the humans and everything is it's dumb, really. It doesn't make sense why the humans would reject the Reploids that are trying to help them, just because it's very clear that the humans can't win this war by themselves. The very big thing in Mega Man 01, the intro, is that the humans can barely hold their own against these, like, standard little enemies like this, whereas Zero can rip through them pretty easily. And the fact that they don't do anything about that. The fact that they don't team up with that or realize that they have to, there's no choice, is just ridiculous to me. And there's plenty of times where, I know it's done for dramatic effect, but like Zero on the left should be able to see the giant robots on the right, and he doesn't for some reason until they speak up. I will also skip the intros for this, just because the intros are basically, go do the mission. There's no real point to this. So, again, this is pretty simple. I believe, yeah, for this level, just because of how long it takes to get through the level, I have to come back and redo some parts of it to get the parts that I need. Particularly the one against the mini-boss, just because it takes way, way, way too long. And there's no guarantee that you'll get them, and it doesn't respawn the things. So you need three parts from these boys, and trying to get the parts from them is, you know, a gambit, so I just kind of gave up. I had done a bunch of runs. I'd spent, I think, a cumulative of like 40 hours playing this game trying to get the best run, and I just gave up. It just wasn't worth my time. So this is the mini-boss. The reason I grabbed the shield, you'll see in a second, is because it blocks all of its attacks. You can attack in between the bursts, but it's such a tight timing that it just wasn't worth it for me to take the damage. Because these bullets do a ridiculous amount of damage for no reason. So I got greedy and decided to take the part. Yeah, so for this one, it's not really much to it. You just, once it gets to this point, you just kind of dash over it, hit it again, hit again, hit again. I believe they gave it way too much health. There's just no reason for this. I shouldn't have to do this. That's another thing, they changed the damage that Zero does to the bosses and enemies. And they took away the elemental chips. I understood that the elemental chips were kind of cheap. Is that you could stun lock the bosses, pretty much. And I'm fine with them taking that away a little bit. I'm not fine with them completely revoking it, because now it just makes the bosses annoying. Because for a lot of the EX attacks, they either have to be charged up in a certain way, or they take too long to fire off, so you can't stun a boss. So if they're in the middle of an annoying attack, which they do frequently, you can't really stop it, and it becomes obnoxious. There's me hating this enemy. So once again, like I said before, I don't really think it does anything that was worthwhile, and this is not an uncommon opinion, honestly, among the Mega Man fan bases, that Zero 4, although a nice game, like, I do like the part system, I like how they changed the elf. I don't like the game itself, just because of, like, the design I think is much like Mega Man's X6, where I'm not sure if it was planned, but it seems to be kind of just rushed. It seems not, it doesn't really, it just feels hollow. It feels like it's missing a lot of the core parts that make it very tight. They did a lot of different things. They try to, you know, make it not so easy, and I can understand that, but it comes with its own issues. And I just think it feels hollow. You don't see any of the old recurring locations, old recurring characters, and that's why I think for Mega Man 03, where it ended with your copy body and it ended with the Guardians coming to your aid and changing sides, I think that was a perfect ending to the series. They should have just had one more level where you go fight Vile, and that would have been it. Instead, you get a bunch of just kind of cartoonish, not character, it was like cartoonish, like evil bosses that have really no character other than, I will kill you. So this boss battle is kind of annoying, just in terms of a lot of its attacks. This is another problem I have with it. A lot of the attacks cover the entire screen, and they make it hard to dodge. Like, it's not impossible to dodge. I keep saying dodge, but it really is just kind of annoying. In terms of it's constantly just covering the whole screen. That's why I say, like, it's more troll design, where it's just designed to be obnoxious than it's designed to be fun, which Mega Man X6 had plenty of, where you either had extremely easy bosses that would sit there and just kind of stare at you, or you had bosses that would... Welcome back, Zero. How are you holding up? Even for you, that level of heat is dangerous. I was so worried. I'm glad to see you're safe. There's also a weird, like, romantic subplot that's going on here. Anyway, yeah, so 04 has a lot of... 04 and 06 have a lot... X6 have a lot of the same kind of design, where it's... Bosses either just stand there because they didn't design them right, or they... They kind of cover the whole area just to make it more challenging. It just makes it more frustrating. And you see me skipping through here just to get the parts. And so this level that I'm coming up with, the ice level, you have to go through twice, no matter what. Because one is for the EX skill, which you can tell if you're going to get, because if the level is flashing, that kind of like red and orange, you will get the EX skill. That means the boss has his home field advantage. It means they usually have some sort of advantage in their boss level to make life miserable for you. Which again, I think is a nice change. So instead of you getting an A or S rank, you instead give the boss more power and instead learn the EX skill. I'm fine with that. All in all, to get an S skill in this game, it is overall easier because they changed a lot of the requirements for it. It's not as stringent as it is in the old games. On top of the fact there really is no benefit to doing an S rank run, actually. So in the old games, you would get certain cyber elves. You would get, you would also get the EX skills or forms or whatever. You would get some sort of benefit or reward. But in this game, there is no benefit to an S or A or S rank other than just gloating or glory, which is why I did it. Again, you can see me killing this thing over and over again, trying to get the part desperately. I'm surprised I didn't give up. Normally, after I kill something like 3 or 4 times, I kind of just gave up and realized it wasn't worth it. But yeah, 04, like, overall, I do enjoy it. I think it's good for the parts. I think the mechanics and the changes are very well. I just think the level design is overall pretty weak, especially compared to the other games. And the story just doesn't need to be there. I don't feel any sort of connection to any of these people. And my major problem is that X never makes a return, which I feel like he should have at the very end. But, whatever. Again, I wasn't in charge of making this game. Yeah, so once again, this mini-boss is pretty simple. You can just jump over. You can also use a charged shot, buster shot, to completely rip through all of those enemies, but since I have the card, I need to keep that for the sub-tank later on. So I can't be using the buster shot as my main weapon, because it's easier to use the charge shot and to hit multiple spawners at once. I'm not sure what we call those things. So in this game, again, they changed it. In the first game, you had all your sub-tanks came from Cyber Elves, and by the way, as much as I like the first game and its design, the one thing I hate is all the Cyber Elves. Why in the hell do I need 5 million E-crystals to upgrade everything? It's just miserable. But in this game, and I think it's, I'm trying to remember, I think it's in 0-3 as well, where they changed it so that your sub-tanks, you get 2 from the levels, and you get... No, I think they did that, they did it in 0-2 as well. Ever since 0-2, you get 2 sub-tanks from the levels, and 2 sub-tanks either from Cyber Elves, or from a side mission. In this game, you get from making ice crystals and giving it to Hurundel, or whatever his name is. I'm not going to narrate these because most of these are bland. It's basically, I'm going to kill you, and that's it. I really sucked at dodging this attack, and I don't know why. All you gotta do is dash forward, kind of like I'm doing there. You just gotta dash under him when he makes his first attack. The problem is I had such a hard time reading the telegraph that I just never was able to get it correctly. And that's, again, part of the thing I don't like about these boss battles is that right there, is that he just covers the entire area with every single one of his attacks. So there's very little room for error, and then again, some bosses just kind of have way too much room, and it's very easy to dodge them. So again, you're running to the X6 problem, where it's not designed well. Or at least designed consistently. That's another thing, is that it was designed consistently, you could say it's a feature, but because it's not, it seems like they just kind of rushed through it. Thank you, Zero. You helped contain the Cyber Elves, now they can rest in peace. Again, it's very bland, kind of basic story. So, these enemies suck. So once again, you have to play this level twice. One for the EX skill, and another one to get these parts. Just because the light does not shine here when it's snowing in the level. But I hate getting those parts just because you have to sit there and wait for the elf to go into that body, and it takes forever. Even if you shine the light to put them over to the body, they decide to go, nah brah, I'm not doing that. I see what you're doing, I don't like it. So it's really obnoxious. So I believe in this level I get all the parts I need in a single run, so I don't have to come back here. Here's me being an idiot. And you'll see me be an idiot again. So you jump up here, go to the left, there's some free E-crystals and stuff. What I should be doing is go to the right, because that's a shortcut, but instead what I do is go back down here for whatever stupid reason. And it's mostly because when I did my runs through this, I had practiced going up first and then down to get the crystals there. So I mixed up my path and got confused. You know, muscle memory and all that. There's a free life if you run against the wall there that's different colored. You can get a free life, but I don't really use the lives because I don't really die. So there's no real benefit to that. Here's me getting frustrated at the game. Guess I just want to kill this guy and he just won't let me. Again, so this mini-boss is pretty simple as well. Just kinda, you hit him once or twice, he'll turn around, use the charge slash if he's right above you, and then use the gun if he's if he's on level with you. At a certain point, once it's about half health, he'll start dropping bombs. Again, as long as you keep your distance and keep hitting him, he'll turn around, so he's never really a problem. Alright, so this level is one of the few levels that, again, just has a lot of hazards in it. Mega Man loves to just put a bunch of hazards, like spikes and lava, whatever. So so these walls that are different colored, you can slide on them and it'll erode them. This one has what's called keratonium, which is needed for 13 different recipes. You can only carry 9 at a time, so you do have to create some items and then come back and get 4 more, which I do later on. So to get secret up here, you have to kill that. You have to kill the body of it. At which point you can hang on the propeller, like I did. You get the sub tank, and there's me trying to get the E-laser, and it just won't give me the part. Again, this is what I don't like about this. I thought originally that this was a flat chance, like you have a 5% chance to get the item, and that's not true. It literally is just randomly generated. Which is why sometimes you'll see me like dashing in the air or just kind of slicing I'll be doing different attacks. That's because I'm trying to mess with the RNG to give me a different outcome. So you'll see that in some levels where I'm like just slashing or attacking in the air for no reason while I'm continually killing enemies, and that's just because I need to change the RNG so that it hopefully gives me an item or a part. So this is one of the bosses where it's really easy because it gives you plenty of space and her attacks don't do much. And there's plenty of telegraph for the ones that do go across the entire screen. So, for most of this, I would do charge slash and then do the full combo, dash away. She'll probably spin towards you, and that's it. So when you're caught by these, you'll kind of slip and you won't be able to slide on the wall. Apparently, I really goofed this. I didn't remember doing this bad. I done this run a bunch of times, and for this boss, I've really ever had any trouble. I don't know why I had such trouble here. Trust me, I do a lot better towards the end when I do the boss rush. Much better there. If you want to see how you actually beat the bosses without taking a lot of damage, go to see that one at the end. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I was just frustrated. Maybe I was just frustrated doing this run over and over again and I decided to redo that. Yeah, so if you're wondering why it took me, you know, a year and a half to do 04, the major reason is because I had to do a bunch of prep. It took me like 3 hours to compile all the recipes, all the equipment that I would need, and then kind of compile it into a good list and also a good guide for myself, and to make it the most efficient that I could. The other reason is I don't like games that have random drops that determine my completion rate. It's just not fun to me. It's why I don't mind playing like Kingdom Hearts or RPGs, but I don't like replaying them just because it takes forever to max yourself out. It takes forever to fully upgrade yourself, and it's just not... I don't find it fun. I just find it a waste of time. I am not a person who enjoys the grind. I'll do speed runs. I'll do challenges for like Mega Man. I plan to do like, you know, no damage runs or whatever. But things where I gotta wait on enemies to give me items and just hope for the best, I'm not a big fan of that, just because it takes forever and it's so boring. And I don't care enough to manipulate the RNG of the game. It's just not my thing. So this is another one level that has a bunch of hazards. It's mostly just recognizing the different, not the platforms, the different patterns that all these things have. If I had a face cam on when I was doing this, I kind of wish I did, because you would have seen the biggest shocked look on my face of me going, God damn it, I gotta redo this run, and then immediately going, oh, the game helped me. Because I should not have lived through that. I definitely should have died. It completely squished me, but it just let me go. I don't know why. I hate these enemies so much. The Triformers are so obnoxious. So this mini-boss, I like this mini-boss just because it's unique compared to the other ones. It's not just a kill thing. You just gotta get the different pieces, and you have infinitely responding enemies. They don't respawn on screen, but they will respawn if you leave the area. If you, like, between the levels. So if you go up and down a bunch, they will respawn. Because I'm not always a big fan of the mini-bosses that, you know, just take forever, and they're just kind of more of a drain my time kind of situation. So here's an alternate path, but I never really go that way. I don't find that any faster. So once again, here it's just following the patterns. And here's another moment where the game helps me. I start to panic right here because my my route got messed up and I should have got squished again, but it saved me. So usually I jump on the side with the... Once it has the 2 on one side instead of the 3. And that's when I start jumping because then I can make it. But I messed up and went to the side with the 3 and that's why I got real panicky right there. There's Keratonium there. And this is the area I go back to when I farm Keratonium just because it's easy. So you grab that life, grab the Keratonium, kill yourself by jumping on the spikes, and then repeat it. And that way you can basically get an infinite amount of Keratonium pretty quickly. And again, this is another one of the bosses that's pretty easy. Even though you have a small area, he doesn't move fast, and he kind of flails around the stage. It's pretty easy to dodge his attacks. So that's, again, what I mean is that these bosses range from, oh my god, they're covering the entire screen, I can't do anything, I can't even move, to this dude is like a snail. He's not doing anything. I don't know why you said that to me, so that's very rude. So the same thing here, these platforms will lift up, which will actually give you protection. So typically what I'll do is that I'll do 3 slashes, yeah, I'll do a charge slash and 3 slashes. And you can see he's already half health. Like he's just kind of flailing around the stage, not really doing anything. And so I believe it's after you kill 4 bosses, you have to do 2 intermission levels, which the first one's annoying as hell. The second one is actually decent. That's because I hate Craft as a boss. There's something lonely about a ghost town. Even if we win this battle, so long as a gulf exists between humans and Reploids, things like that are bound to exist. We must do what we can for everyone's future. There are Reploids converging on Area 0. Biles Reploids are heading for the settlement. What? They found it! Fighting is breaking out across the settlement. The Reploids are advancing. Operator, transfer me to the settlement. Inputting coordinates. 0, protect the settlement, please. Oh, and also data. Yeah, so I hate this next area. So first, you have to get 2 items, 2 parts, just because you cannot return to this level. And the other thing I hate is Craft as a boss is so annoying, just because he is one of the characters that covers the entire area. His telegraphs are some of them are very similar. And man, it is obnoxious. So here, if you do a dashing slash and then a charge slash, I got this part, I could get that first part from the frog pretty much immediately. So when you start this level, do a dashing slash, and then charge it up, and then you get that part immediately. There were some times where I figured out the RNG, especially in the beginning of the level, to kind of give me what I want, but I couldn't always consistently get that done. So yeah, Craft, I hate him. I don't like him. I don't like him as a boss. He is one of 2 bosses in this entire run that I had to use a sub-tank for, just because of how obnoxious he is. Alright, so to get 100% on this level, you have to put out the fires and save the settlers. And so you have to grab that with your knuckle, and then put out the fires. You will need a recharge, that's why I got rid of it. This enemy, you need 2 parts from, you need 2 copies of it. So that's why you'll see me kill this thing a lot. And that's why you'll see me start doing random attacks in the air, just because I'm trying to mess with the RNG, to hopefully give me something. I was having success with doing 2 jumping knuckles, dashing jumping knuckles, and then doing a running attack with my saber, and then dashing slash. But it wasn't working every time, and I just kind of got frustrated, so I decided to just say, screw it. I'm just going to go for it and hope I get a good time. Because again, you got to get a good time to get an S rank. And again, despite saving these guys, these are still rude to me for whatever reason. They should, I would say, at the very least, they should be terrified. But whatever. There's me missing like an idiot. I don't know. I've killed this. I've played this level and killed that enemy so many times, and yet I just blanked. I don't know why I did one slash. If you do a jumping or a dashing slash, it'll kill it in one hit. But otherwise, if you're doing standing, you have to do 2 hits, and I don't know why I failed so miserably. That was just funny to watch. You don't need to kill him, but again, you also need to kill a certain amount of enemies per level. And I don't ever research how many it is, mostly because when I do the parts run, I'm usually killing multiples of the same enemy, so I don't really worry about it too much. So we gotta look for Niche, so we gotta go fight the boss, which is Craft, who is a, what I would consider a butthead. She wasn't here either. Craft! Zero, I see you were protecting Area Zero because of the settlement. You were a new Arcadian Reploid, used to fight for humanity. How could you fight for Dr. Vile and attack the settlement? Lord Vile has all the world's energy in his grasp. Humans and Reploids have no choice but to live under him. There are fools who don't understand that and fight us even though we have no chance of victory. As long as you and the humans continue to fight, there will be casualties! Yeah, you'll be a casualty. Even though I was a casualty many times. So again, like, a lot of his attacks aren't too bad, but that dashing one will hit you consistently because there's no telegraph, he just does that immediately. That one, the one where he dashes in is just so devastating. Like, that's why. There's no telegraph, you have 0.2 seconds to get out. So that one's not too bad because you can jump out of the, you can hit him out of the air. But it has to be a charged thing. This one always hits me because I can never get the timing correct. It takes forever. So, like I said, it has to be a fully charged one. So like I said, like, he's not terrible, but he's too quick and he covers so much of the area that it becomes really annoying really quickly. I should have known. What's holding you back, Craft? There should have been a comment there. What are you talking about? You're not going all out. It's almost as if you wanted to lose. There must be something else behind your attack on the settlement. There is nothing else. Now, just as then, I am fighting for humanity. Area Zero and this settlement must be sacrificed for the greater good. Humans must learn the folly of defying Lord Vile. Stop it. Try it again. Stop it. Niche. Greater good? What are you doing to help humanity? How can you talk about the greater good after seeing what you've done to harm nature and the settlement? It took a long time for nature to return to its former glory and for the humans living here to find peace. And you're trampling humanity underfoot, not helping it. It doesn't matter how hard you try to justify your actions. You're both just fighting the same stupid war. Niche, I should have known you were here. Craft, why do you follow Lord Vile? When I first met you, you were a proud warrior. You said you'd bring peace to the world and protect humans. You promised me. Yes, I remember. And I'm keeping my promise by doing this. Jerk. No, he escaped. Come in, Zero. I'm reading the Reploid signal growing fainter. You did it. Seal. Craft's got Niche. Can you track his signal? What? I'll get right on it. So she was friends with one of those Neo-Arcadian Reploids. She pretended to be helping us this whole time. And you are the Resistance Reploid Zero. I'm not sure why I give him this voice. Some legend. My brain, then that another human talked about. But look at what he did to our settlement. Are you gonna help Niche? That woman, she's with the Reploids. I'm not gonna stick my neck out for her. I can't believe you. You're just going to abandon her. She put her life on the line to stop the fight and save you and your settlement. What of it? If we save her, we might get attacked again. Look at all you cowering in fear. You're no different than the humans in Neo-Arcadia. How could you dare you? If you're going to be like that, why even put your lives at stake to leave Neo-Arcadia in the first place? Well, Zero? I found Nij. Get back here ASAP. I'll be right there. So again, I don't like the story because they don't do... please, save Nij. I don't like the story because it logically doesn't make any sense. They should be able to see what Zero and the Reploid are doing and be like, alright, we need to follow the good Reploids because we don't really have a chance here. Welcome back, Zero. I know where Nij was taken. There's an enemy base west of our current position. Nij and the craft should be there. Oh man, I messed that up really bad. So yeah, the story is just... it's such a... Reploids are so bad. Oh wait, they're good again. Like, there's... And considering the robots have been around for hundreds or thousands of years at this point, you'd think that they would realize that it's mostly humans that are the problem here. So Nij is here. Hey Zero, are we doing the right thing? You mean the people in the settlement? Yeah, even if we help Nij, what good will it do if the people don't open their hearts? I've been thinking ever since I've heard about how much the humans hate the Reploids. I wonder if we can make this world a better place. An outside line is coming in from the settlement. Huh? Patching it through. Come in, Zero. We can't do anything to save Nij. There we go. We humans aren't as strong as you Reploids. But you were right. If we abandon Nij, this whole settlement means nothing. From the moment we all decided to live free of Vile's rule, Nij has helped us too many times to count. We don't have the right to ask you this, but please, save Nij for us. If you really aren't like Vile and the others, please lend us your strength. Zero! I will save Nij. Thank you, and good luck. So, like I said, like, the story... And that's a case in point of, like, they literally just flipped from 0 to 100. Which kind of makes sense, but there was no build up to that. They were trying to build up the story to that moment, and it fell flat because it's just so weak. It was so cartoonish of, all humans are worthless, all Reploids are bad, and it's just nuts, not. The games in both the X and Zero series have done that so many times, it gets really old. It would be way better if there was nuance of, we don't trust you because of what you did. You are a Reploid specifically designed for war. So, we don't trust you. It's not like, you know, we believed in X, we believed in that, but Zero, you were designed specifically to kill X, and specifically to destroy. You were the first Maverick. So again, if there was a lot more of that where they brought in the history, I think it would have worked better. It's just, here, I think it's just so... Again, I think they didn't really plan on making a 4th game, or... They just didn't plan it out well enough, and they had nothing else really to say for the series. And that's, I think, it's just so weak and pathetic at that point. So you see me killing the same enemy there at the beginning because I need 3 of those items. Those enemies will pop up later if you need to. I just think it's easier there because that way you can just run through the level. This level isn't particularly difficult. You really just have to run through. All of these enemies are pretty basic, and there's plenty enough room that you can just buster shot them to death. This boss can be annoying just because he likes to spam the same moves over and over again, but he's not too bad. As long as his fists aren't like a deeper like that, where the lighter red. Just make sure you don't jump into them. I did a few runs where I would, you know, do a jumping slash after some attacks, and they would still be active. It's because I'm an idiot. So here you can see, again, not too hard, just dodge. Most of his telegraphs are pretty easy to see and react to. It gives you plenty of time, so just kind of dash and jump away. I have no idea what he's saying. He's saying something in Japanese that I have no idea. They didn't do any voice lines for English, which is not surprising considering how few there are. I just don't think it's worthwhile. I would agree with the same decision. I don't think I meant to skip that. That cutscene was actually very story related. It had a lot to do with, so Nij and Kraft actually fell in love. Again, pretty pathetic story. but they loved each other, and something happened with Kraft where he went bonkers. And how dare they? And so now Kraft is doing the typical. Basically, Kraft is Colonel from Mega Man X4. He's fighting for the greater good. He doesn't understand. Like, no one else understands him. He's got to do what he has to do. Okay, I didn't mean to skip that. I must have skipped that in the because I've done this run so many times. I thought I saved. There was a few data or video recordings that I meant to. Because what I originally did is I saved all of these story-based things. That way I could just run through the game. But I must have deleted that one. Because I also deleted a bunch of failed runs, and I failed miserably. I forgot I used the sub-tank here. I didn't need to, but I was just, again, so scared of losing the run at this point. I'm pretty confident I would have survived that with the health I had. Also, in the amount of times that I've played this level and this game, I never thought to do that. Of getting hit by the ball and just letting it go. So, I'm an idiot. I feel like I should have just taken strategic damage there. I'm free of the jamming, bring me back. Oh my gosh, bring me back, guys. Yeah, so it's very strategic damage if you decide to just get hit by that and let it roll over everything, because it will just kill everything in its path. It's good to see you back. Where's Niche? She went back to the settlement to tell everyone thanks. I see. Do you think we really helped the humans? I do, but we're not out of it yet. There's still some work to do. Right, let's put a stop to Vile's evil plan. So yeah, because of the intermission that you have to go to, I went back to this level to get the rest of the parts that I missed. So this is probably the most annoying ones to get, just because you need 6 parts. So the generator itself drops a part, and you need 6 of them for whatever reason, and it just takes forever. Yeah, so you need 6 of those. And then again, I go to farm Keratonium, and also this enemy that's called a Crossbind, you need to get parts from as well. Yeah, so we get the Keratonium. I don't know why I keep messing that up. And because it's a free life, I decided to just... It's worthwhile to me to just get that, and then you can escape the level. Alright, so here, another level where it just takes too long to get all the parts. So you see me here kill a few of the same enemy over and over again. But I don't waste my time trying to get, because I have to come back here anyway. So, I'm just going for the luck of the draw, but if it's not in for me, it's not in for me. I would say this is actually one of the easier levels, just because the first part, you can just run through. And the second part is mostly just a timed event. You don't really have to fight anything, so... Most of this level you can just run through pretty easily. I'm really surprised. I needed a part from those flying cannons, and I'm surprised the amount of ones that I killed that just never gave it to me. There are 3 of these mini-bosses, and I hate each one of them just because they love to spam the move where they try to grab you, and it's just so obnoxious. So you'll see it at a certain point where he does, I think it's either the fire dragon or the electric one that tries to do it like 3 times in a row for whatever reason. Yeah, it's just, why? I don't understand why he tries to spam that move constantly. So he's not too bad. He is not too bad. All you gotta do is keep away from him all the way to the edge of the level, and he really can't hit you. So like I said, this part isn't too bad. Normally I would try to rush this, but because I was going for an S run, I did take it a little more careful than I usually do, so you'll see me at points where I should be able to like continue moving and avoid the beam, but I decide to just kind of sit in place, just wait for it to come out. You can tell when the beam is coming because the screen will flash red. So like I said, there's really not much to this, you just kind of run. And here I panic a little bit because I keep trying to jump on this ledge, and I almost didn't make it. Yeah, so there's really not much to this level, then you're done here. There's a few enemies down here, but you can just mostly skip through them. There's me missing like an idiot. And this one's pretty simple, you just jump as soon as the first one's done, and you don't have to dash jump or anything, you can just avoid it. And so this is another one of the bosses where it gives you plenty of space, which is nice. But the boss itself is pretty simple. He does one attack that just leaves him wide open as long as you can, you know, jump and dodge it, which is pretty easy. And there's a few other attacks where he just kind of stands there helpless. He does do a counter, which is interesting. So this is the one we kind of stands there helpless, and you can just shoot him. But he does have a counter that, if he's bending back, kind of like he was with his back turn, that means he's waiting for you to attack. But again, even that, if he does his counter, it's not too hard to dodge. So this is the one that if you can get it right, I kind of miss a few times here. But you can pretty much just take half of his health out in one cycle of that, because it's not too long. That should have hit me. I don't know why it didn't hit me. I feel like the game kind of glitched. Yeah, so like I said, like this one's pretty easy because it's pretty easy to dodge. He doesn't ever change direction or anything, and you can just wail on him as long as you get the timing and the direction right for your deck. So, and my voice cracked right there, so that's nice. So go repeat that level again. And there's really only one more level you have to do to get parts. At that point, you can just craft everything you need. Got that in the first try, which is nice. You need 5 of these things, which is really annoying, because again, they're meaty boys, so they take a while to kill. And then you gotta come down here, get 4 of these, I believe. But there's plenty of these in the level, so it's not too bad. Yeah, so these are the last 2 levels. This one, you only need a few items in, so it's actually not that difficult. You can kind of speed through the level, instead of having to collect a bunch of things like you do in the other ones. Again, if you want to spread it out, where you don't collect them all in the same level, that's up to you. I was just trying to make it efficient, to make it, to get all the parts you need, and the fewest amount of levels needed. So this part of the level could not be repeated. That's why I kind of made sure to get these instead, because normally I would just kind of run to I would run through the level and just come back for these, because there's a time limit and it's just not worth it. But you can't come back to this part of the level, so I had to make sure I get 2 of each. So you can get 2 parts from both of these enemies. So it's not a lot. It's not terrible. And neither one of these enemies appear again until like the very end of the game, so I wanted to make sure I got these pretty quickly. The good news is about this is that this runs in a cycle, so if you go too far to the left or right, it will actually loop around. So you can't really get lost too much. Like this, I never practiced the run for this. I was actually kind of just flying blind. I was going through different openings as I saw them. And I just found the exit pretty quickly. And I finally get what I need, at which point I can leave. So like I said, they loop around and it's not too hard to find that. So here we gotta find out the dragon thing. Again, this one's not too hard either. It does the same thing where it loves to try to grab you for whatever reason, as case in point. I don't know what it is in the programming that just prioritizes the grab move more than anything else. So it's pretty much the same deal. I stay in the corner, it'll try to grab you, just shoot it a bunch of times, and if it comes close to you, just stab it. Again, I think that's the easiest of the three. Just because it doesn't really have that many attacks that can actually hit you from the corner. It has the laser attack, but that's pretty much it. It doesn't really do anything else. Whereas the fire and electric ones actually will be able to attack you, or at least inconvenience you if you're in the corner. So like I said, you can speedrun through this level. I needed the bongle, which was that flying bat thing. But you get that pretty quickly because there's multiples here. So that's a perfect area to farm it if you need to, because you can run back and forth between those two spawn points for that. So it's not too hard to get through this in one run without having to come back to the level. This is another boss that's pretty simple. He actually does have a lot of different attacks that I think are good for the area. It's just that he's slow, and he really just kind of sits there and just takes it. He will teleport, but his teleports, again, are extremely telegraphed. He's very easy to dodge. Again, that's the problem in this game. Same with the X6, is that it's either impossible to dodge it because they're so fast in such a small area, or they're slow, sluggish, and just kind of standing there waiting to die, as if they have a death wish. So that move is probably his best move. Just because they bounce all over the screen, and like that, it's hard to dodge anything else. If that's on screen. But so that where he teleports and does his little arm things, it's really easy to just dodge these because it's just, the build up is too long. That's one of the times where I think, design-wise, it should have been quicker. In every game, there's some sort of reference to Phantom. I don't know why. I'm not sure if they killed him off in the first game and they didn't mean to, like they kind of regretted it, or they wanted to have some weird vengeance thing that never pans out because Zero is just an absolute war machine. Phantom lost his life in one of our many battles. I sometimes wonder if all our fighting is only creating more suffering in the world. Like I said, the story is just so pandering. Granted, Mega Man does not have a very deep story in itself. It's very on the nose, very upfront, but this one especially is pretty bad in that regard. Where it doesn't there's no room for interpretation. It is very clear. It's always, are we the baddies? And then it turns out, no, we aren't the baddies. We are actually the good guys. We are the goodies. And so this is the last level where you have to get items. Again, this is another one where you have to kind of play through it twice just because there's so many different things. And RNG is often not on your side. I probably could have, if I wanted to, do multiple runs over and over and over again to get it all in one run. It's just, it just wasn't worth it. This is the very end of this is the last one. I decided to say, screw it, I'm just gonna let it go. It's just not worth it to me. So you gotta be careful with these. So you are in a magnetic zone. So, just like with real magnets, if you are the same polar composition, which is where red or purple, pink and pink, they will go away from each other. I don't know why, despite the fact that I studied physics, I can't think of the word right now. Repel, Jesus. So they will repel, which means they will go away from each other. Whereas if you're the same one, they will repel. If you're different ones, they will attract. So here you'll see the blue ones kind of go away, whereas the pink ones rush towards you. So you just gotta be careful with that. Like seriously, magnetism and electromagnetic forces are one of my favorite things. How did I not think of them? I don't know why it broke my mind so quickly. And that's why I hate this game. I should have killed him. That was just bad move. The lasers were just bad moving on my part. I should have dodged those. And I didn't. And so you need... So the crabs, the small crabs that the things generates will drop hearts. And again, if you can sit here and wait for it to respawn. Those crabs over and over again. But because my S rank requires a speed run. And I've already lost enough points because I was taking too much damage or taking too much time. I decided it wasn't worth it at this point. I just needed to run. Like I said, this was the last level, so I decided, screw it, I'll just replay it. It's not important for me to get this in one run. So for this one, I think it's just easier to just run across the top here. There will be these ceiling fan things that try to just caramelize your onions. Just make sure you don't land on them. You'll have plenty of time to dodge them, as you can see. The wires will also have electric things, so just be careful of that as well. Again, they're not hard to dodge. The last few things you can just dash across without a problem. You have enough height to make it. I don't know why, but I was so insistent on killing this enemy for whatever reason. So this boss is actually really annoying. So this is actually one of the bosses I think is actually pretty well designed. Just because he's big and bulky, but the level is designed that it gives you plenty of space to dodge him. His weakness is actually useful, whereas all the other bosses, the weakness actually really doesn't do anything. Like the weakness is actually... So if you shoot, like, fire with electricity, which is their weakness, it actually does nothing, really. It does less damage than a charged slash, so I typically don't do it, that's why. But here you can see that the ice is actually hitting him pretty hard. And it's actually staggering him, which is nice. That's the whole point of the weakness, is to give you an advantage. So like I said, he's big and bulky and he covers a lot of the area, but... You have plenty of room to dodge his attacks, unless you're bad, like I was right there. So I think he's probably one of the best designed bosses in this entire game, just because they did exactly what they wanted to. Big, hulking boss, big open area, plenty of room to dodge. Alright, so at this point, I go back, get the rest of the parts that I need. And also just take a deep breath because I was so tired of playing this game. Like I said, I don't really mind it. It's not my favorite. And the fact that I had to play this over and over again for... I did this, I think, over the period of 3 days. 2 days. So I played this probably for a cumulative of about 20-some hours in total. Because I played for about 12-15 hours, kind of a few practice runs, and just kind of, you know, studying to make sure I got all my stuff right. And then I did a few, like, for real runs and got messed up there. And it took me a while. It took me longer to do this one than it probably did to take the other ones combined. Just because of the randomness of this. So at this point, because I have all the parts I need, I just need to max myself out on Keratonium. Again, you can only carry 9 at a time, so you will need to come back once you created a few items to max yourself out again, but it's not too bad. So that's how I farm the Keratonium. I get that life, get the Keratonium, kill myself, repeat. And so here I make 4 parts with keratonium, so that, because you need 13 in total, so I spend 4, go back get another 4 to max myself out to get the total of 13, and that way I can just make all the things at once. So here I make absorber and 3 S crystals, because you need 3 S crystals, 1 for another part, and 2 for the sub-tanks. And then I make a bunch of junk as well. Since I got a bunch of serpent gear, you need 3 junk parts as well, so just, you can pick any 2 items that don't mix together into a recipe, and it works. So I was an idiot and completely forgot. I had done all these on camera of making these recipes, and then I completely whiffed. So I'm gonna go scroll down here and show you the parts that you need for each recipe, because, again, as I did a bunch of failed takes, and I did a bunch of failed different things, I accidentally deleted the video I had of me making all of these things with all the parts I had, and I didn't want to run through this game again, so here we go. I just show you the parts I need, and I also have this document on the description as well, so if you want to use the document to kind of guide you, you can use that as well. And after this point, I also go through the Cyber Elf, even though I did the Cyber Elf at the very end of the game, just for simplicity and just for, you know, maxing out my crystals. I do this also at the I do this here just to put all the upgrades together. So here, if you talk to this dude twice with 2 S crystals, he'll give you 2 sub-tanks. So at this point, you should have all your sub-tanks. You should also have all of your parts that you need. So here, again, I did this at the very end of the game, so my crystals were actually higher than I was at the point of the game where I actually made all this stuff. So here, what's important is that you want to upgrade your elf to level 5, just so that you can increase the drop rate of certain enemies. Again, I know I said I kept myself at level 1, but for the love of God, I was not sitting here for hours grinding to get crystals for no reason. The game doesn't give you enough crystals to max it out throughout the period of the game, so here's what you do, is you go back to this level, go back to this boss, kill all of these other portals, because it'll make the things come out faster. As long as there's only one, and then you can just drop a bunch of crystals. At which point I max it out to level 7. And then at that point you're done with your upgrades. You got your elf is fully upgraded, you got all your sub-tanks, and you have all the parts that you need. And again, I take everything out just to continue on with level 1. Because I am a sadist, or masochist. Which one is it? I think it's sadism. No, I think it's massive. Whichever one that enjoys pain. Because I hate my life, I decided to do this entire game, level 1, no upgrades. And I kind of regret it. Just the amount of takes I had to do. It was such a pain in the ass. But it's one of the things where, like, when I'm done, I'm so happy with the product that I made, because I'm just... It's a matter of pride, I guess. So because we are fully upgraded and we don't need to spend time in the level getting any more parts or doing any more things, we can just rush through, kill everything, have my wireless controller battery be very low. So we can just run through the level, kill everything, and it makes the game a lot easier because I don't have to sit there and make sure I got all the parts. Because there was I think there was one run where I was doing pretty well, and then I whiffed. I missed an item or two because I had messed up on my guide. I copy and pasted the wrong thing. Like, I copy and pasted something and then I messed. I don't remember exactly what I did, but I remember being very mad at myself because it was a very simple mistake, like copy and pasting it into the wrong table or to the wrong level, and I was like, oh man, I really goofed it. And so I had to play the game again. So here's the third and final dragon thing. The electric one, I think, is probably the hardest of the three, just because it has the best attacks. It has the lasers. And it has some electric balls that it will throw at you. So you can't just sit in the corner, you actually have to move. It will try to grab you, because every single one loves to try to grab you. I don't know why it loves that move so much. But it does. Go away. And then you can see me being an idiot because I didn't dodge correctly. I also hate this level in its entirety. I hate the boss. I hate the level itself. So if you use the spike type W for wind, it will keep you in place and you won't get knocked back. Because again, I was doing level 1. I couldn't do that. Because I hate my life. But not only does it push you back, not only are there a bunch of gaps and just what I would again consider a troll design where it just tries to kill you. And like it intentionally designs the level so that it's just really obnoxious if you don't have that part. I also hate the fact that you can't see. The wind for some reason is the clouds are extremely thick. As if that wouldn't, you know, be a danger otherwise, but so again, I hate these Trioformers, I hate these enemies just because they are relentless. And they won't just leave you alone. So I hate this level because of the wind, because there's constant enemies on the edges. There's constant ledges everywhere, and you can't see. So it's just a constant problem. And I'll explain the boss why I hate him in particular when I get to it. Alright, so here we're at the boss, and I hate this boss in particular because, again, there's wind, which pushes you off the edge. This dude tries to grab you, like he'll swoop in and try to throw you off the edge, which is annoying. If you get hit because of the wind, you'll get hit, you can't move, and you'll get staggered, at which point you'll fly off the edge. Again, it's what I would consider kind of troll design, and Mega Man does this a lot. Again, this is just the Mega Man X5 boss again. They love the repeat bosses for whatever reason. But it was the same deal where he would do the same thing. He would hit you and just fling you off the stage. There were plenty of runs where I would go through this level, get all the way to the end, and then just get immediately thrown into the gaps. Because I would get hit or the wind would change direction. I don't know why I didn't dodge that. I knew that was coming. That's another problem with this level, is that because of the wind, it's impeding your movement. There are times where he throws that electric pillar down, and there's not really much you can do. Because it's just happening. I'm surprised that it didn't connect. I'm really mad because it wouldn't just give me the kill. I have 1 health point left, just let me kill him. Another aspect about the boss I hate is that if you try to shoot him or try to attack him, he will leap up in the air. So it's just constant obnoxiousness. And so that ends the main bosses, and then at that point you go through the rush at the very end that Mega Man games always have. They always have a boss rush at the end. They also always have like 3 like tower levels. It's basically what I call them. They're not always towers, but they're basically just a gauntlet of all the enemies and all the land masses that you fought before. I'm receiving word from the Resistance base. Opening channel. Zero, it's terrible. The base radar has detected a large energy signature. The signature is coming from space! Space? The energy signature is off the charts! Well, good for them. It's heading... Area 0. Get out there. What is it? Respond! What's going on up there? Something's overriding the signal. The source is New Arcadia. I knew it. Dr. Varl. I told you, Zero, you don't have a chance of stopping Ragnarok. I don't know why I should make him sing. Laying down a bucket of destruction from the comfort of a space station was what Ragnarok was built for. The whole time, the 8 warriors were nothing more than a diversion until I could complete Ragnarok. I changed his voice like 7 times, deal with it. Operator, can you transfer to Ragnarok? I'm sorry, but I can't pinpoint the coordinates. I can't send you anywhere without destination. Your confusion throws me to the end. You pathetic insects crawling around, incited about your precious nature. I forgot his voice already. I want you to hear you scream as you meet your end. The only one that's doomed is you. How dare you? That voice! Kraft! I've destroyed Ragnarok's remote control system. I am no longer your dog to yank around by the chain. Now I control Ragnarok. Your space cannon is no longer pointed at Area Zero. It's pointed at you and Neo Arcadia. Seduced by the sweet words of a woman. Unbelievable! You do realize how many humans and Reploids are living under my control? Are you saying I should play the loyal Reploid and follow you, not doing, not thinking, just waiting at your beck and call? Are you condoning the destruction of nature, struggling just to survive? I will not let you take control. I fought too long and too hard for humanity to let you. I will change the world. Also, why would you tell him that? What? So you're going to attack Neo Arcadia instead? There's still humans and Reploids there. Come in resistance base. Seal, communication restored. Seal, come in. Get everyone in the resistance over to Neo Arcadia. Get the humans and Reploids out of there. Even if you have to force them out, try to save as many as you can. Too many have already seen enough suffering. Understood. I will relay your orders immediately. I'm stumbling over my words quite a bit. So yeah, I don't know why Kraft would tell him that. Why wouldn't you just say, I've overridden your controls and I'm deleting Ragnarok. Psych, I'm destroying you. That way he would know to prepare to leave. Again, just stupidity and telling the good guy or bad guy your plan. It just gives him a chance to react to it. Whatever. So this level in itself is not particularly too hard as long as you know where the enemies are. The enemies will attack you from off screen, so that's what creates it like that. That's what creates a major problem in this. That's what gave me the most problems, is that when I was running through this the first time to practice, is that I had a bunch of enemies that would just attack me from off screen, and I'd have to deal with it because I couldn't do anything. I didn't know they were there. Alright, so here I'm purposely waiting until that bottom one is off screen a little bit so that I can kind of skip through a little bit of it. If you're quick enough, I was able to do it a few times. I wasn't able to do it here. But you can jump on the first one that I did, jump on that ledge, and then jump on the one that's ascending. That way you can get it on one fell swoop. But I missed my timing a bit, so that's just what happened. Again, I wasn't going for a perfect speed run, I was just going for S rank. This part is particularly annoying because they're not synced up to any particular cycle. So this is kind of random, depending on when you appear on screen at certain points. So it becomes really obnoxious because you can't really plan for this, you just kind of react. Sometimes they'll be close together and sync up properly, kind of like that one did. Other times they'll be very far apart and you gotta kind of sit on the wall and do that, and do like a wall jump. This one, I've gotten hit by that a few times. I don't know why I got hit there. I should have been more patient. Like, that one is such, again, that's what I call a troll design. There's such tight timing that you have to get with your attack to get that right, that it just becomes such a problem. There were so many times where I just took the hit, because I just couldn't hit him right. If you do a dashing jump and then, do one of your downward slash to get the diving attack, you'll probably get it right. It's not working. What's going on up there? Zero, what are you doing here? I won't let you fire again! You will have to file, weren't you? Ragnarok is charging him for a second shot. This will change the world and the people in it. Do you think Nij would approve of what you're doing? I know what I'm doing makes me seem like vile. I don't care if people think I'm a maverick. Someone has to take a stand and fix humanity's course of direction. Or I think it's just humanity's course. I didn't read that properly. Again, I hate this boss. That's why. you have to be very quick on your reactions. And he just covers the entire screen. And because he attacks so frequently, you can't charge up anything. Again, it's not like I showed in the first. He doesn't have any other attacks that he didn't do in the first one, except for his. He does have a super attack later on. This one right here. This is the only new attack he has, and it's not really difficult to dodge as long as you kind of shoot. That was just bad reaction time for me. So as long as you shoot those things as they're coming down, it's not too hard to dodge. I just have such a hard time dodging him, and I don't know why. Like, considering how long I played Mega Man, you'd think I'd be better at that. We're only Reploids designed for war. It's not our place to change the world. That's up to humans like Seal and Neej. As Reploids, we can only lend strength to those we trust. Trust? And just who? I should be trusting the humans that did nothing while the world fell apart? The humans that fear us, their own creations? Or the humans that try to conquer the world? We fight each other for them. This world screams out in pain under them. Why should I trust anyone? How can you trust them? How can you fight? I made a promise to a friend that I intend to keep. To someone who believed in the harmony between human and Reploid was possible. I trust that friend, and I trust the humans that friend trusts. Too many trusts. I see. I couldn't even bring myself to trust Neej, even though she was always told the truth. Craft, leave my body here. I can no longer face Neej. I don't want her to cause her any more suffering. I will do as you asked. Zero, the humans, the Reploids, the world, and Neej. Watch over them. Zero, respond. Seal, I stopped Ragnarok. Handcraft? Handcraft. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. Mission complete. I'm coming back. You would think that they would, you know, destroy Ragnarok. Go over to him here. Mission complete, Seal. The humans and the Reploids have been evacuated. New Arcadia has been eradicated by Ragnarok's attack. There is nothing but a crater in the center where Vile was. I doubt there were any survivors in that area. At least that makes sense why you wouldn't check for his body. I see. Good work, everyone. Continue to search for any survivors. Acknowledged. Seal, are you okay? I'm okay, just a little tired. Incoming communication from an outside line from the settlement. I'll patch it in. Zero. Neej. It was just like you said. It doesn't matter what I do. As long as I keep fighting, I'm no different from Vile. And I had to fight Craft. No, Zero. Thank you for stopping Craft. Ragnarok and New Arcadia are no more. Is it finally over? So many humans and Reploids lost their lives. Zero, did we do the right thing? No, because you didn't destroy Ragnarok. Even if there's no one left to be in the cockpit of it, why wouldn't you destroy it? It's still a hazard, someone else could go find it. What was that? It came from Ragnarok. It's still operational. But Vile and Craft are gone. Who could be controlling it? Operator, send me back. I can't. Only the control room's connected. There's protection around the circuit to the center. We can't transfer you from the access port. Ragnarok is accelerating, and it's heading straight for her. What's wrong? It's heading straight for Area Zero. Someone's trying to crash it. What? There's still some time before it touches down, but we can't disable the circuit protection from here. Isn't there something we can do? Zero, Seal, you okay? Neej, Ragnarok is... I heard. I'm sending over some coordinates. You might be able to reach Ragnarok with these. Where did these go? To the teleporter base in New Arcadia. It was originally designed to transfer troops. It might have just enough power to get you over to Ragnarok. Coordinates received from the settlement. Inputting now. 0. If that's our only chance, it's the one I have to take. So yeah, it makes sense why they wouldn't search for Vile, because there's nothing but ash and soot there. So that makes entire sense. What doesn't make sense is why you wouldn't destroy Ragnarok, because even if there's no one there left to pilot it, it's still there in space for someone to find and therefore use. So that's just confusing. So these next couple levels are just kind of a rush or gauntlet. This one's just kind of going through the different areas. One's fire, ice, electric, and then kind of a neutral one. They're not particularly hard. Especially I would say the hardest one is the electric one, just because you have to climb while there's a bunch of enemies. Whereas this one, as long as you use ice, they will just drop to the ground. If you do a jumping slash and hit them properly, you can get them to rocket down, but it will also always pretty much hit them at an angle. So that's why I just chose to do ice, even though it takes a little more time. I don't bother with a lot of enemies here. If they're in my way, I'll kill them pretty much, but if I can avoid them, I will. So you have to use the knuckle to rip this thing out. It'll kill any enemies on screen. So like I said, this one's not too hard. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's mostly just rushing to get everything done. So like I said, as long as you do a perfect... It pretty much is a frame-perfect jump there. You can avoid that enemy. So neutral's down, electric's up, fire's to the left, and ice, water's to the left, to the right. The fire is mostly platforming, there's not really that many enemies there. You can actually avoid these enemies if you dash jump over them. I do that on my way back. But because there is a kill requirement for the S rank, I wanted to kill a few enemies. So these ones, you might be able to. I tried this a couple times, I couldn't get it consistently. You might be able to just dash jump your way across and just continuously jump. But I did that a few times that I did that, the enemies came out too quickly and hit me into the lava. So I just didn't trust it. It just wasn't worthwhile for me to do. So like I said here, at this point I just kind of rush through, I just dash jump over every enemy that I can. There are a few that I kill just because, again, the kill requirement, and also, I just felt like it. Don't judge me. Leave me alone. So again, you can dash jump over that one, and also this one. So the electric one is probably the hardest one. As long as you have the buster out, it's really not that hard. You basically just climb up the opposite wall that the enemy's on, jump up, shoot them, and just make sure you don't get hit. Like that. Just make sure Zero's aiming the right way. If you kill them fast enough, you'll be able to get rid of their bullet. I froze up there, I don't know why. I knew that was gonna happen. I just kind of froze up in terms of what to do. I should have done a charging slash. Just release that. It would have got rid of the bullet. But I kind of just panicked. Here, I generally just don't take my time. I kind of just fall down. Kind of keep to the center. I do take a few hits, but I just think it's faster. There's, again, no real reason to kill all these enemies. Most of my enemy kill count comes from the next area in the water, just because it's the easiest place to kill enemies. All these things are one-hit kill. Like a regular jumping slash will kill them, so that's generally what I do. So like I said, you'll see me after every like dashing jump kind of stand there still for a second. That's because enemies will come off screen and start to attack. So instead, I'm giving myself time to react to where they're there. You can learn their spawn points, but I hadn't at this point. I was just kind of rushing to get done because I'm tired of playing this game. you will see that be a similar motif of, I'm tired of playing this game. I want to move on to Battle Network and Legends. And then once I do my 100% runs, I'm not going to do 100% for Battle Network just because I have things to do. I will do like full boss runs. Like I'll beat every boss. I probably won't get every battle chip, and that's because I also can't because I don't have anybody to play with the different versions, and I'm not playing the game twice just for certain. There's certain chips I think you can only get in certain versions, like Pokemon. So for the Battle Network, I'll play through the game and get all the bosses, but I'm not gonna bother with getting all the chips because I don't think it's worth it. Or I might cheat to get them. Who knows? But once I'm done with Battle Network and Legends, I'll go ahead and do some challenge runs, like I already do basically no death runs, but no damage runs, or limiting myself to only using the Buster or like single shots or whatever. So instead of using the charge slash, which I do a lot, maybe just do single regular attacks. Yeah, so for this boss, he's not too hard. What I would suggest is kind of sticking to the opposite wall that they're coming from. Using a charge slash and a charge buster shot just to get rid of a few of them. But they're pretty easy to dodge. This one's a little harder to dodge. You can do it if you jump on the wall and thread the needle, which I didn't do right there because I failed miserably. So for this one, you just gotta react to it in time. The last one's gonna be very fast. Just make sure you follow them where the white thing ends. And again, they don't take a lot of damage. So the bosses in these areas are actually, I would say, the bosses in these areas are very well designed. So that one, it gives you plenty of room to dodge, it gives you plenty of telegraphs. It's not too ridiculous. So I think they're pretty well designed. It's just some of the regular bosses and the levels I think just needed more work. Alright, so here, there's 2 more levels to do. And as I have all the upgrades, it was at this point that I went and I think I farmed at this point for the elf. So that's why I saved it and kind of cut the video there. No. I did not. At this point, I was after this level where I did it. So here they give some weird, strange reason as to how they're going to get you there. Which is basically they're going to send you as program data into the circuit and you'll be some weird... it doesn't make any sense. I'll put it that way. They spent so hard to explain this when in reality a simple solution to this would have been what they did in Mega Man not Mega Man Legends 1, like in 01. You beat Craft and then someone else operates Ragnarok while you're on it. So you can teleport back if you need to because you have control over that area. But you need to go back and fight whoever's controlling it. Alright, so this one, once again, it's pretty simple. You just kind of run through. There are a bunch of hazards. There's a bunch of electric things. You just kind of got to run through them. You can get the time. If you get the timing right, you can kind of skip through them pretty much. I mess up a few times, just in terms of my jumps and everything. But like I said, a lot of these enemies you can kill with a single jumping slash, so you don't got to worry about too much. So I take the bottom path here. It's free of enemies, but you do have to platform a bit. Just make sure you don't jump into their attacks, because if you jump into their attacks, it will knock you off the little pole there, and it will send you into your death. So that's the risk versus reward, is that you don't have to fight any more enemies or deal with any more spikes, but you do have to deal with the fact that you might plummet to your death. So here, once again, all these enemies, they don't attack frame 1, and they're easy to kill with a single jumping slash, so... Here, I had done this a few times where I got to this level and then dash jumped into those spikes and got very mad at myself, and that's why you see me kind of standing there. It's because I was about to do the same thing again and about to ruin the run, but I caught myself and I just had to breathe. I just had to take a moment to breathe. So for those ones, as long as you start off where you're not hitting the electric little taser thing, you'll be fine. Just take a second, jump, take a second, jump, and you won't get hit. For this one, I typically use the fire buster. No real reason. It doesn't. I don't think it does any more damage than the ice or anything else. I just found it to be quicker than the ice one. So I always, for this boss, I always hit it with a charge slash, jump up to the top, destroy these two things, and then jump down and do a charge slash. I think there's one time where I missed because I missed my jump or something. But the reason I get rid of these things is because they will shoot lasers if they turn pink. During one cycle, it'll turn pink. So, during this like intermission cycle, it can do a couple different attacks where it does that electric thing it did before. It can do this one, where it just throws little blobs at you. Or it turns pink and shoots lasers, but if you destroy those receptacles, it won't be able to shoot lasers at you, so you can just easily dodge its attacks. Again, this one's pretty easy to dodge, as long as you're up top. So here come the lasers, and again, because they're not there, it can't shoot anything up top. And simple as that. You probably could get that faster if you take a little more risks, but I wasn't willing to do that at this point. I was just trying to preserve my damage just because my score was pretty low. So it's at 96, which is the bare minimum you need for an S rank. And it's because I've taken too much time and too much damage on the levels to ruin my average. And your average is calculated over the course of the entire game. So if you get 100 and then a 94, it averages out to about a 97. So that's how the game does your rank. So if you do poorly on one level, you can do better on another to even it out and try to help you out. However, because the S rank requires a 96, you pretty much have to be perfect the entire game. So at this point, I cut the video. I spliced the video just because at this point is when I farmed for the E-crystals to get the elf up to max level, just because I didn't feel like doing that earlier. And then we start the final level, and it's pretty much just repeating what we did before. The final level is a boss rush, like it is in most the Mega Man games, and then the final boss, which has two forms. So like most games, like most Mega Man games, the final level is pretty simple. There's a lot of basic enemies. It will repeat a lot of enemies just to, you know, just because, I mean, they made the assets for it, why not use them? So it will repeat a lot of enemies. They're mostly pretty far away. They're pretty much just cannon fodder for you to get stuff for health and E-crystals. I don't know why you get E-crystals, because you can't really do anything. You can do a New Game Plus, but their E-crystals are pretty much useless at this point in the game. So if you want, you can farm health from these enemies, because they pretty much just stand there. But again, because there is a requirement to get a certain amount of enemies killed per level, is why I will stand there and kill some enemies, even though I don't need to. Like, I could have just skipped through that fatale, that spinning fire thing. I could have just skipped through it, but I need to kill some enemies. So here you gotta do boss rush. I'm gonna skip through the dialogue because it's pretty much, hey, stop living right now, please. I want you to die. And that's pretty much it. Every single one of them does pretty much the same thing. Again, if you have the spike type W, you can get through this pretty easily because the wind won't affect you. These bosses don't really have any unique attacks. They don't do anything different than they did before. Much like most Mega Man games, it's just the same thing over and over again. All of these bosses will have their advantages. So if you played the game where you didn't get their EX skills and had them at a disadvantage, they will have their advantages here. So once again, I go through I use their weaknesses against them sometimes, but because the weaknesses in this game are pretty pathetic, I don't use them a lot. I only use them as a last resort or basically as ranged. I don't really use them with the saber. I believe with this boss, I for some reason had a lot of trouble. Yeah, I kept getting hit. I don't know why. I don't know why I was struggling with so much with this boss. So yeah, if you do an electric shot, it'll stop her in her tracks. I don't like that they programmed her to just attack from off screen like that. So you can destroy these things if you attack them. I'm surprised I didn't die, considering that I really goofed that one. I was very frustrated that I almost died there, because that would have ruined my S-run. Because again, I was sitting at a 96, which is the bare minimum, and if you take too much damage in this level, and too much, if you die particularly, you lose too much, too many points, and you end up with an A rank. And here's me still not dodging this move because I suck at this game. That's again my problem with this boss in particular. Is that I reacted to what the game wanted me to do. I just didn't have enough time. I just didn't have enough time or space to react to it. He just covers too much area. But again, if you have the spike type I, you can dodge that pretty easily because you don't slip. The game kind of expects in certain bosses for you to have those parts. Because I wasn't using them, I was at a severe disadvantage. I believe this is the one where you watch me rock this poor robot. It didn't even stand a chance. So make sure you jump on the ledge there, because she will... I do hate how bosses will just spam the same move over and over again. Because it causes this where I can't really attack her because she's so far away. You would think after all the years of programming games, you would find a way to say, like, if they've done this move, put it at, like, priority low, so that if the RNG hits it, it doesn't do the same move again, or has a much less likely chance to hit it. Once again, this boss is extremely easy. He's kind of just an idiot. He kind of just stands there and just takes it, which I'm fine with. This is probably the only attack that really ever gets me hit, and that's just because it covers so much area. And unless you have a clear opening like that, it's really hard to dodge. Once again, nothing new for this boss. I would just hit him with a flame shot, just because it's his weakness, and it does hit him pretty good. I feel like that one should have hit me, honestly. I reacted to that one way too late. I don't know why the game gave me the advantage there. I don't remember if this was the run where he shot like 7 of these things at once. He shot like 3 sets of those little bouncing ball things. And it really, really gave me the business. Because I couldn't dodge it. No, it wasn't this one. There was one run where he literally shot 3, there were 3 sets, there were 6 of them total on screen. And I just couldn't dodge it because they were flying everywhere. I couldn't dodge those things. Again, I typically don't use the weakness for this boss, just because it's not really worth it. I usually like to try to trap him in that spinning Hyper Beam move that he has, because it gives me the most damage, as you'll see in a second. I'm pretty sure I can get rid of like half his health in this just single sequence. I meant to say cycle or sequence, and I just mixed them both together. Cyclets. Almost dashed into the flames. I couldn't tell where the opening or the safe spot was going to be with that, so I just jumped on the wall there. Yeah, like I said, like if he does that move, it just leaves him wide open, so I wouldn't even bother with it. Again, that's if you can trap him in that move, it just makes it so much easier. And then this last boss, which is the giant Minotaur. Again, ice actually is your friend here, whereas in most other battles, the element is mostly just... It helps you, but it's not really... It's not as devastating as it is in the other games. Which is part of, I think they specifically did that. They changed the elemental things just to make it a little more challenging in this game. But I just don't think it worked out well. Another thing I hate about this boss is just how much armor he has. Like, he has so many, different points where he'll be, like, invulnerable. Like, that attack is a different beast, but, like, that right there... Like, you'll see it, I think it's the next few hits where, like, he just eats it. Because he can. I always have problems dodging this attack just because, again, it covers such a wide area. It's not impossible, I did it in the first fight, but I just really messed up there. I reacted to it too late. But yeah, there were a few runs, it wasn't this one, I thought it was this one. There were a few runs where I would hit him with a charge shot, and he would just eat it. It would just reflect off his body. Because you gotta hit him, like, pretty much perfectly under his shoulders and above his thigh. So, it just goes, it creates a problem. I hate these enemies because they will start to attack you from off screen. And they will just shoot you in the face. So here, it's not too bad, because these always spawn pretty much as a staircase. And so we're heading into the final boss. The final boss is actually not that hard, as long as you know the cycles. The thing I hate about the final boss is that the first phase has so many invulnerability attacks. And one attack in particular takes way too long. Also, I hate that enemy. How rude of you. I don't know why I did that. I should have saved it for that dude. But the final boss has way too many invulnerability attacks and frames that it takes forever, and it's just obnoxious. There is one attack, and you'll see it, where it spawns a bunch of old bosses. And that's my problem, is that I actually think it's a really cool move, and I really love it, which is, again, why I think Vile should have been, or Real, whatever, how you pronounce his name, should have been the final boss for Mega Man Zero 3. But, you know, whatever. You'll see it just takes way too long. It's way too obnoxious. So this is the Ragnarok core. Welcome to your front seat for the end of the world. What voice did I give you? That voice, Dr. Vile. How did you survive that attack from Ragnarok? Survive. That's easy. Because I can't die. I think I gave you a very exasperated voice. What happened to you? Did my mechanical body surprise you? Did you think that I was a Reploid and you could fight me? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm pure human, even with a body that looks like this. How? Even when the Dark Elf took control of the Reploids and destroyed the Mavericks in the Elf Wars, the humans of the time modified me. They transferred all my memories to program data, so you're not pure human, and switched my body for this armor with the power to rejuvenate me, and still not human. Do you have any idea what that means? I can't age, and wounds heal more quickly than normal after the war. I was cursed to live eternity on the world without light or nature. The humans expelled me from Neo Arcadia! Exclamation point. Justice. Freedom. Worthless ideals, you Reploids are just machines. A long time ago in the name of freedom and humans, look what they did to me, driving me away while spouting the word Justice Zero. I sink so low to controlling, I don't remember. The destruction of all my kind is fleeting, not quite alive, not quite dead, forever by my side. I'll make you suffer a fate far greater than anything ever experienced before. So Weavile is gonna do the same thing that happened to him. Basically create him as a mind control robot. And also, again, story-wise, I'm pure human, except for the fact that I have a microchip that has all my memories, and I have a suit, armored suit that rejuvenates me. That's not pure human, that's an android. I'll teach you that there is no place for fools to hide. Fools must live under my rule, and my rule alone, thanks to Ragnarok. That's what I was thinking. Again, I have no idea what he says. So, most of his attacks are pretty simple to dodge. That one, if you dash correctly like I do there, you can actually avoid that. If you're an idiot, you'll get hit. So, generally, if you're lucky and get these attacks, you can pretty much get him to half health already within the first couple cycles. First cycle, I meant. First cycle, not first couple. These ones, if the little orb hits the spear thing, dagger, whatever you want to call it, it will send out a pulse on the ground. So that's why I try to kill a few of them, just to make it a little easier to dodge. This isn't really too hard to dodge as long as you're paying attention. You do have to pay attention to both what's coming and what's there. So this is the move where it summons all the enemies, the bosses from Mega Man Zero 3. Which is why I say, like, if he was the boss, I really love this move. It's a really cool, like, addition. I just wish desperately that this had been in Mega Man Zero 3, because it kind of makes not really no sense, but it's really dumb that he only summons bosses from Mega Man Zero 3. If he had done it from 1, 2, and 3, and 4, I think it would have been a really cool addition. I just think it's a wasted potential. So he's pretty much close to death. So again, his first form isn't that hard. A lot of his moves are pretty easy to dodge. Again, I had more trouble with Craft than I did this boss. He has a second form. I do heal with a sub-tank here. I don't think I actually needed it, but I think I healed just because I wanted to. I can't stop the descent. Zero, reaching critical speeds. If it goes any faster, I won't be able to get you back. Hurry up! Get you back. No. This isn't over yet. Vile. I told you. I can't die. Nobody can stop Ragnarok now. And I don't know why I didn't do your voice. Get back here. I can't stop this. No. There is a way. If I destroy Vile's core, then the explosion will take Ragnarok out with it. If Ragnarok is blown apart, it no longer poses a threat. But what about you? Are you even capable of it? The Reploid hero protecting justice and humanity. I am one of those humans you swore to protect. Do you have it in you to defeat me? See, I used a sub-tank in the beginning just for protection. Just to make sure I didn't die, because I didn't want to redo this. I never cared about justice. And I don't recall calling myself a hero. I have always fought for the people I believed in. I won't hesitate. If an enemy appears in front of me, I will destroy it. Zero. Zero! Seal, believe in me. Zero! And by more emphatic, Zero! Oh my gosh! Alright, so this boss is actually really annoying just because, again, he is protected by that little, like, tusk thing he has on the bottom. And because there's a time limit, there's only so much you can do. You pretty much are, based on the RNG, hoping. You have plenty of time to hit him, you just have to know his attacks. Which is my problem, is that if you fight him for the first time, you can't really beat him just because you probably don't know what to do. So that's probably the best attack because you can get 3 full charge shots off. You can get a charge shot and then a saber and then a shotgun. And this is another good attack. Although it's devastating if you get hit by that laser, it takes off like 60% of your health. It gives you plenty of attack to hit. Make sure you don't mess up like I did. I messed up the timing on the first one and got greedy. So that's why I used the sub-tank. I don't think I needed that here, but again, I did it just to be sure. So for when you get caught by these, just just jostle the D-pad around violently. That way you'll get out of it. Zero, turn around, please. You really causing me a kerfuffle with that. So like I said, like it's not hard, but there may be a better way to do it that I don't know. Maybe there's a way to shoot him while he's still covered, but I'm not sure. But that's it. That's the end of Zero 4. And the end of the Zero, franchise. There is ZX. To be honest, I don't really like those either. Those are also pretty divisive among the community. I probably will play those at some point, but they're not going to be immediate. And there's an S rank. Like I said, even though I got a pretty low score on that level, my average was high enough. Ragnarok is breaking apart. Ragnarok has entered the atmosphere. Most of it will burn up on entry, and impact with Area Zero has been averted. Mission successful. Zero, come in, Zero. Zero, come in, please. There's no response from the receiver. The connection has been lost. Seal. Oh, a shooting star. Wow, look, a lot of shooting stars. No. Those are pieces of Ragnarok. Does this mean that we're saved? Craft Zero. Did you reach Zero? Zero, why? How could this happen? After saving all of us, and just when humans and Reploids were finally coming together. What do we do now? Humans and Reploids live for a long time. This is not the first time. This has happened many times. It's okay. I'm sure Zero is still out there. And one day he'll come back to us. Seal. And so that's it for Mega Man 04. I had forgotten I put that picture in there. Oh man, I'm funny. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified of future videos. If you have any suggestions for other Mega Man games or challenges you want me to do, please leave them in the comment section below. But until next time, Wale te omnes. Zero, you believed in us. Now it's our turn to show you that your faith in us was not misplaced. Watch, Zero. I'll make this world a better place. One where humans and Reploids can walk hand in hand, living in peace. Just come back someday. I believe in you.